if you want some, but you ain't bad enough, so you can't take none. I'm Big Snoop Dogg, and I'm the only one. And when it comes to Madden, all y'all fools my sons.
Coach, from the stadium that hosted Super Bowl 51 back in 2017, we are inside NRG Stadium in Houston. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Houston Texans.
That's it, baby. We're going to work. Ready? Select 20. We're pretty quiet, team. We're pretty quiet.
And again this time to the tailback. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On 2nd and 9, Roethlisberger. And nearly an interception here on their opening drive. But instead, 3rd down. He was all over that route defensively. Now, they had 2 picks last week as a unit. Couldn't quite grab that one.
Patience, Grasshopper. Patience. It's early in this game, but you like the fact that they're around the football early. They're going to be upset they didn't haul that one in, but at least they're there at the moment of truth to make a play on it.
By the way, where did the Grasshopper thing come from? I know it's been around for a long time.
Yeah, you know, I'll have to tell you that some other time.
All right, back to football. Now Roethlisberger. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Zach Cunningham able to record his 5th sack of the season. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 on their side of midfield at the 47. This is Love. And they'll work this down to the 40-yard line. Tackled there. A fresh set of downs on a gain of 13 there for the Texans. To throw is King on 1st down. And he hits his target. It's Kenny Stills. And he's taken down inside the 30. 10 yards there, good enough for a Texan 1st down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller with touchdown number 7 on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
Well, you know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
He's going to rifle one deep left side. Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. Picked off at the 22. And his guys are going to get the football at the 23-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number one goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number two goal is win your division. Number three goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. To throw again, King. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, have them back on their heels.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Here's King, operating from the gun, going deep for Hopkins, and unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
But one thing's for sure, when you get a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
50.
From the 30 on 2nd down, Roethlisberger nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bernardrick McKinney muscled his way in for the sack.
Now, we talk about players blitzing all the time. I often laugh and sometimes call it just straight-ahead pursuit. What a running start right back to the backfield for him.
Yeah, it really didn't give anybody a chance to get up there and stop him.
No, I mean, that's really, really difficult. You're asking a whole lot anyway, but when he gets that kind of a start and comes through clean, oftentimes the advantage definitely goes to the defensive player.
Well, the pressure gets to him again. Bernardrick McKinney able to record his 5th sack of the season. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed in this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. Off play action. King. And his his throw here's incomplete. He was in search of his tight end, Tyler Higbee, and it's 3rd and short. Before the game, they were running the route tree about as efficiently and effectively as we could have possibly imagined, but sometimes the passes just go awry.
Yeah, let's face it. When you're running the route tree in pregame, you don't have defenders breathing down your neck. You don't have defensive backs making plays on the football. Hard to replicate the intensity of the game in pregame.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. T.J. Watt in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
This offensive line has struggled. In fact, when we sat down with the coach, he said it's been in tatters lately. They allowed 6 sacks in their last game. Just gave up another one right there.
In tatters, so it sounds a little bit like this right now.
Exactly. It's like that paper being ripped. And right now, they've got to find a way to get it back together.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
You got 3 down.
From the gun, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Roethlisberger. Oh, hit as he throws there, incomplete.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they'll have little chance of winning this one.
Officially, that'll be marked down as just a 28-yard punt. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. On 1st down, here's Love. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
He's letting this one, and this is caught. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller with his 2nd touchdown of this opening quarter. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And it's now 14-0. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
Ready?
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. That'll be a loss of a yard, and it leads to a third down.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative. Well, you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
The Steelers on third down. 0 for 3 to this point. They could use a conversion. This is 3rd and 9. Here's Roethlisberger. And going deep for Hill. It's caught inside the 25. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. And even 50 yards. Nothing conservative about that play call. You said earlier in the quarter you wanted to see them open things up, maybe take some shots downfield. There you go.
Yeah, that one was successful. But even if they're not successful, when you take those shots downfield, they've got to back off a little bit, loosen up a little bit on defense, and give you a little bit more room if you want to run the football.
No gain on the play there. 2nd down. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Come on, D. Tight end to the right, boy. Tight end to the right. Move. Alert.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Roethlisberger. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put him in command. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. T.J. Watt racking up sack number 12 for him on the year.
You can't stop me.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Back to throw. King. His throw is going to be incomplete. Will Fuller was the intended target. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down. Well, you got a young quarterback. Maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
Now King, throwing on 3rd and long. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete. Problems on 3rd down so far in this first half. Relatively small sample size, but they're now 0 for 3.
And the average in the league, somewhere around 40% on 3rd down for offenses. So what's the answer to this? Either convert them or don't get the 3rd down in the first place. Get your big chunks of yards on 1st and 2nd down.
Well, that's going to go in the books as a 55-yard punt. Well done. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10.
Here we go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they're in a bind early here, down 14-0. Are you worried at this stage or still too early?
You're worried. You're just trying not to transmit it to the rest of your team. You want to make sure that they stay positive. But at the same time, you're wondering, how are we going to move the football? What do we have on this play sheet that can work? Get back to basics is usually your answer. And make sure you find the guy who can move the ball fastest for you if you just get it in his hands.
Yeah, still 2nd quarter. You get points on the board here. I think you're feeling okay. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Roethlisberger. And his throw is going to be incomplete. Offensively, might be thinking, what's going on here? 1 for their first 7 throwing the football.
So maybe they're thinking about rethinking their strategy a little bit right now with the way that they're throwing it around, not having that success. Might have to lean on the running game for a little while and see if they can get him back in form.
So Max number one. So don't say nothing. Here we go. Here we go. One's the black one.
On 3rd down, Roethlisberger. And that'll wind up incomplete. Bold play call there. Now it's 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this off.
He's got a man, complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. But one thing's for sure, they're going to have to come up with something at halftime because he is absolutely roasting them right now.
They're going to go through the whole litany of things, changing coverages, what are we going to do to put a man on him? The big thing to me is treat it like a good pitcher treats pitching a game. Change your timing, change your location. So sometimes you're up on him, sometimes you're back. Just change up the looks that he sees and make him just a little bit more hesitant.
Got a man, it's caught inside the 10. What a play that turns out to be, 36 yards. Now that's now 2 big catches on this drive for him.
The NFL keeps talking about the possibility of using video for coaching on the sidelines. That's not approved yet, but you can still use pictures. They've got to send his picture down to their defense and say, you see him? Cover him.
The chain gang hustling to catch up. Here's 1st and goal from just inside the 10. Looking to throw. King. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins. His 6th touchdown of the season. And the Texans push further out in front. The PAT would extend their lead, but there is a flag on the play. Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And some dangerous territory. You're already down 3 scores. A 3-and-out here or an inability to put any points up. This one might be over by half.
Yeah, and what you also have to guard against is calling every play.
And they get to him with the pressure as Roethlisberger goes down. Leonard Floyd in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon.
Here we go. Here we go. Where's the mic? Watch one.
Roethlisberger will throw. And going deep for Hill. And Big Ben intercepted a 3rd time. He's picked off near his own 48. And they will finally put it into the return, but not until he takes it back all the way inside the 10-yard line. They had him back deep, got the interception, and now they start inside the 10.
Partner forgets starting inside the red zone. They're inside the green zone. From the 10-yard line in, a lot of teams call it that because that's the money zone. Get it into the end zone and make your cash.
Back to throw. King. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. DeAndre Hopkins with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 7 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And a rout is on here in this first half. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. Typically down to the first half, I might say, oh, you at least need a field goal out of this drive, but they're down to the point where they need a touchdown, don't they?
Yeah, normally, you know me. I mean, you've been around me for a while now, right?
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry about that. But normally, I'm the one preaching patience.
Yeah.
You know, take your time. First half, you still got a chance. I think they're out of patience here. This has to be a drive that gets a touchdown. So if you're the play caller, you're going to that portion of the sheet that says big-time plays, specials, anything you can use to get yourself back into it.
He's going to launch it for Washington. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. The linebacker, Zach Cunningham, there defensively to make that play. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Out of the gun, it's Roethlisberger. And a throw there going to be incomplete.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Here's Hill on the return. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. They are just putting things together so well here, drive after drive. They really have captured the momentum, haven't they?
They've taken momentum and pretty much not just give him a jersey, but a seat on the bench as well. Whatever do you need, you've got it, because the way they're stringing things together and creating that distance between them and their opponent, it's really hard to narrow that gap. And the other part is they're taking their spirit away from them, too.
And now they're just looking to add to that total. He's letting this one go for Fuller. Well, this is taken in. It's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That one goes for 36 yards. So the ref takes a peek here, wants to see if the receiver had possession and both feet inbounds.
If this were a college game, this would be a legal catch. It's the second foot that they're looking at to make sure it gets down. You have to have 2 inbounds in the NFL.
1st and 10 at the 37-yard line.
They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action.
Come on, baby. Let's go.
And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
You better be afraid of me.
King throwing on 1st down. There goes a deep ball, end zone. And that'll wind up incomplete. Try to give his man room to run under it, but it's 2nd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. He's going to look deep, end zone for Hopkins. And that's going to be incomplete. Good effort there, trying to take a shot, but it's 3rd down.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the 1st down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10.
I'm scared. Check nickel, nickel, nickel. Check safety, check.
King now. From the gun, he'll throw. Then he's got the completion to Hopkins. And they're going to have themselves another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Steelers' 17-yard line. Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw. And time finally runs out. He can't get rid of the football, and he's taken down. Bud Dupree, credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Sacks a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long.
He's coming.
2 To throw is King. Off play action. Flushed out right. Oh, he's able to outmuscle him here as he pulls it in. A gain there of 21 yards. Talk about a big first half. Already has the 2 touchdowns, adding to his receiving total there and picking up the first down.
He's coming off the line so fast. I think he's intimidating the defensive backs with his explosiveness, and he's chipping away at their confidence.
Here's King, operating from the gun. That is caught. Hopkins for the Texans touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins on his way to a monster game. 3 first-half touchdowns as his guys continue to pour it on. Extra point up and good by Sanders. And a rout is on here in this first half. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll bring it a few past the 20 to the 23-yard line.
Let's go.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. They'll keep it on the ground again here. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken.
Let's go.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a first. He's letting this one go for Fuller. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Will Fuller, 69 yards, as his guys continue to put this one out of reach. The 21st pick back in the 2016 draft, Will Fuller, and we know that he can take the top off of a defense.
He certainly can, and the way that he does it is just straight, pure speed. And I saw it with one of the better defensive coordinators in the league, and I said, how do you defend that? And he said, at times, you absolutely don't. If the quarterback gets time and he heaves it downfield, Will Fuller's going to outrun any coverage you put out there.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Now a handoff here to his running back. And they're going to get him behind the line yet again as his nightmare afternoon continues. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now they'll run it on the toss. And his rough afternoon continues. He's going nowhere again. Darren Lee there to get him down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
22, 44.
Play action. Now Roethlisberger. And going deep. Wide open. Complete. And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A big play that time for Pittsburgh. 61 yards.
Tight ends on the Lucy. Tight ends on the Lucy. Tight ends on the Lucy.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. It's a gain of a yard, and it'll set up 2nd and goal.
Every team we ever talk to that continues to run the ball in a game, even when they haven't had much success, all talks about attrition, don't they? If you keep running it, eventually good things are likely to happen. It's been a hard go in this game today, hasn't it?
Yeah, this defense, they've met pretty much every challenge in front of them this afternoon.
They're still trying to run the ball, but they're not finding much space.
The tally there, -2 yards, brings up 3rd down. This is 3rd and goal, still looking for the first points of the game. Here's Roethlisberger. To the end zone, but it's incomplete. I think here the score dictates you pretty much got to go for it.
But when you look at the scoreboard and you realize that 3 doesn't do you a whole lot of good in this situation, you're exactly right. Dial up one of your better plays and get after it. Forget the field goal kicker. He doesn't matter.
I'm kind of surprised by that they kicked the field goal. I guess you get some points, but this deficit 3rd quarter, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. When you're down that much, kicking a field goal, does it feel a little bit maybe waving the white flag and just want to get out of here? Yeah, I think you got to go ahead and try and get some bigger points on the board.
And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And last time out, another touchdown. And I think there may be some empty seats around here by the time the 4th quarter comes around.
Yeah, I have to agree with you because this was just a...
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Stephon Tuitt, the former Notre Dame man, able to record his 5th sack of the season. After the sack, they're staring at a challenge basically from the other side of town. It's 2nd and a country mile. Looking to throw. King. Going deep for Hopkins. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a 3rd down.
Well, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to
And they're going to sack him again. The 5th time they've gotten him today, and this one results in a safety. And, Charles, at some point, you can't keep worrying about big play. Can this be perfect? You just have to get the ball out of the end zone.
And in the offensive huddle, that was discussed when they called the play. Just get out of the end zone. But you know what's interesting? A lot of the times in the defensive huddle, they actually call a set and then say at the end of it, get a safety. So it's preached, it's coached, it's thought about.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. You put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about that.
Toe bashed it.
Super toe.
A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. They find some open field here. And he's got this down to the 35. The Steelers able to pick up 18 yards there.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now they'll throw it with Roethlisberger. Dancing to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Benardrick McKinney in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. So the sack, and now a 3rd and long situation for the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger. Now Roethlisberger. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Justin Reed. And his guys are going to take over at the 21-yard line.
The Texans take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Bud Dupree able to record his 5th sack of the season. Well, they're in some hot water now. After that sack, it's 2nd and 21. Back to throw. King. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety. And you know, the man who sat in my chair the last few years, he has a theory. These plays, these safeties, they're so rare. Maybe they should be worth more than 2, maybe 4 points.
I think he's got a great point. I really do, Brandon. But I would go ahead and up it to 6. I'm a former defender. To me, that's like scoring a touchdown.
Easy now. I'll go 4. I don't know about 6.
Come on. Come up to 6.
A lot of points. Try to get one more in here before the quarter breaks. After the interception, here's Roethlisberger. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up. His time is now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now here on EA Sports. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the 4th quarter. A very one-sided affair. 2nd and 10. It's Roethlisberger once more. That went into the hands of his tailback, Samuels. It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll bring up a 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back, complete. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. The Steelers will go. It's Roethlisberger. And he finds McDonald. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Roethlisberger now perfect since the 2nd half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Here's a run on 1st down that doesn't accomplish anything. In fact, he's going to be tackled behind the line for a loss of 1. Seems pretty obvious defensively a key was stopping the run game. How have they done it so successfully?
To me, it seems that these guys really did a nice job of paying attention during the scouting report meeting. And you know, Brandon, when they do those, they talk about the top plays that these guys like to run. The best runs for the top running back. Those are the ones you focus on and want to take away. And they've done that pretty successfully in this game.
And he'll be down deep into Houston territory. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. So the big play means just like that, they'll operate from the red zone now on 1st down. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or two.
The 17-yard line.
Maybe just a slight detour on what's been a strong drive. Here's 2nd and 11.
I want that. Give me that ball, defense. Hey, Echo. Give me that ball, defense.
Here's Roethlisberger to throw. And it'll be intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Houston. Will Fuller, an 80-yard touchdown as his guys continue to pour it on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game: defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line.
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 19-yard line.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now they'll run it on the toss. And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down. And the trend continues here in the 4th like it was in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. He's had nowhere to run.
And you're probably thinking to yourself, why do they keep feeding him the football? Well, they trust him first and foremost. They do believe that over time he might actually pop one of these runs. The bottom line is he takes care of the ball well for them, so they keep handing it to him.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. Another incompletion. It's a wonder he's still moving around back there the number of times he's been sacked.
Yeah, he's staying out there, isn't he? And you don't think about it much in a game like this, but he's showing incredible leadership. Still competing, still fighting, not taking himself out of a ball game that appears lost.
And the Steelers on 3rd down. A very anemic 1 for 9 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Roethlisberger. That's going to be knocked away and incomplete. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure. The backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
A good return there, 17 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Houston's offense already at the line, set to get going. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup, let him get some time?
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. These guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. That's always puzzled me.
And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. T.J. Watt in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And now he'll tuck it and run. They get 14 back, but it leads now to a 3rd down. And the Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. It'll be Love to try and get the first. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. Sanders' kick is good. And they're sitting pretty now as the lead grows even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the 4th.
And in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
A little bit of daylight on that 1st down run sets them up nicely. 8 yards on the carry. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. From just shy of midfield, Roethlisberger. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And, not only did he drop it, he dropped it in the end zone. After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. One last shot for Roethlisberger. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete, as time has run out on this football game. They set the goal beginning of the year, hey, let's win 7 games. Unfortunately, with this loss, they can't do it.
So now it'll be interesting to see how they respond as a team, because sometimes when you set goals, if you don't achieve them, you don't care anymore. You let everything else go. I want to see if they're going to continue to fight, scratch, claw, do whatever to try and get as many wins as possible, even if it doesn't reach their stated number.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, and this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Texans as we say so long from Houston.